Hi everybody, I thought I'd introduce you to my 2024 project. It's a 1994 Saab 900 turbo convertible. This is the last year of the classic body style. In 1994, the hardtops were the new gen, but in Saab tradition, the convertibles lingered behind in the old body style. I bought this car almost exactly a year ago. A really nice guy had had it for 25 years, so I'm just the third owner. But he kind of ignored a low oil pressure light and ended up putting the number 2 rod through the side of the block. He wasn't in a position to fix it, so I took it on kind of as something to do in the winter, but it sprawled a bit longer than that, and I've just kind of wrapped it up recently. I have another project coming in, so it's time for, unfortunately, this guy to go. You'll notice it is raining, and my convertible is outside. Not my preference, but that's where we are, and that's why it's got to go. So let me take you through it a little bit. Kind of just walked around the outside. I can point out a few things that folks might care about. First, you'll notice that the headlight wipers are gone. They were not in good shape, and I couldn't find enough parts to rebuild them. So headlight wipers are no longer present. You can see there's a little fading on the cowl under the windshield, just age related. The roof is original. The top is, as far as I know, it's original. It's getting a little wet out here, but the thing I wanted to call attention to is kind of right here. There's a little bit of wear from where it folds into the boot. It's present on the other side too. It's just a little bit, and it's not been a problem. Obviously, it's raining and it's outside, so we're doing fine. There's a couple marks in the body. Here's one of them. It kind of looks worse on camera than it does in real life. It kind of disappears if you take a step back. But there's that ding there. There's a couple marks in the trunk. Looks like somebody tried to close something heavy on it. I'm not sure if I can capture it, but there's a couple little dimples in this area right here. And there's a scratch right there. And I think that's really about it. The rest of the body is super clean. Go look at we can look at the underside first if we can. Let's go over this way. Probably not possible to see, but the brakes are just a couple months old. It's been upgraded to Saab 9000 rotors and calipers, so the piston on the caliper is a bit bigger. These guys are pretty heavy, and the additional braking is actually really nice. It's impossible to see in here, but there's well, no, you can't. There's brand new Bilstein shocks back there. The interior is really nice. The seats have been completely redone. It's pretty good quality leather. It's from LC. I'm sure a lot of folks have seen it, but it's actually pretty nice. It's a little bit grainy in some places here, but the foam is great. They're super comfortable. Carpet's in good shape. Floor mats are brand new. Probably the biggest flaw in here is you can see the dashboard is cracked. Not much you can really do about that these days. There are companies that will refinish them, but it was just I was running out of time, and this project got a little bit out of control financially. Right now there's an oil pressure gauge in there. I'll return to that in a moment, but the oil pressure gauge doesn't go with the car. The ashtray is here, and you can plug that back in. You'll notice the upper DIN slot just has a cubby in it. I'm not sure that's how it's going to be when it finally goes, but that's kind of a little project that I'm working on the side. We'll see. Down here, the Clarion stereo was in bad shape. It kept losing connection internally with various speakers. It was impossible to deal with. So there's a CarPlay compatible head unit in there. I'm sure you guys have seen these things on Amazon or whatever. They're not expensive. They run Linux, but it works pretty well, and it sounds pretty decent. So I'm really not mad at it. It's nice having a little screen there so you can get maps or whatever. I'll call attention down here to this switch. When I had the seats reupholstered, the seat heaters were also replaced, and even though the factory setup is automatic on the passenger side, my wife likes the seat heater on even when it's a little warm out, so there's a manual switch to control it. It's 2 positions for low, off, and high, so you can control the temperature there. On the driver's side, the seat heater is the rheostat that's factory to the car, which works properly. Both front seats are power. That works great as well. Obviously we redid the back as well. You'll see the inserts around the speakers have been recovered. That's true front and rear. All 4 speakers are brand new Rockford Fosgate Prime, as I recall. So the stereo actually sounds pretty solid. It's super clean in here. I mean, obviously being the third owner of the car, it hasn't passed through too many hands, and I think everybody's taking good care of it. Mileage right now is at 133.5. I bought it about 2,000 miles ago, so I've driven it about 2,000 miles in the time that I've had it. Let's see if there's anything else in here. The headliner is like the top original. You can see it curls a little bit, and that's true. I don't know if I'm going to capture this on both sides. The Velcro is worn out, and so the fabric is kind of shrunken a little bit. It really doesn't attach very well. I suspect an upholsterer who knew what they were doing could stretch it back out, but I am not that person, and so I've just kind of left it. It's not too much of an issue. You don't really, I mean, it's not in your face, and you don't really notice it when you're sitting in the car. It's only when you're looking up from outside. Let's take a look under the hood. I am not joking when I say pretty much everything in here is brand new. Obviously the block was replaced because it had a hole in it. So that's all redone in there. You can see it's nice, pretty, and red again. The pistons are the factory pistons. They've been coated with APC on the skirts and thermal coated on the top. Everything under here that I could replace, I did replace. The whole cooling system is new. The water pump, radiator, thermostat, most of the hoses. The air conditioning, brand new. You'll see it's a dual pulley compressor. It's not the factory compressor, but it is a native 134 R134A compressor. So it actually works pretty well. The AC hoses are new. The evaporator is original, and the condenser is original, but the the expansion valve, that's new. Man, what else? You can see all of the hardware is new under here as well. Anything that was like a bracket or something like that was removed and zinc coated. Some stuff like the idle valve bracket and the lifting lug, those are not zinc coated from the factory, but I figured I'd throw them in the box and it looks kind of nice. But like the coil bracket, the AC compressor bracket, the clips on the airbox, everything has been restored in that sense. I removed the hard line for the turbo and replaced it with this flexible line. There's two reasons for that. The original one had a crack in it, which may have caused the oil loss, which led to the low oil pressure, which baked the original motor. But also it's just so much easier to deal with the flex line when you're installing this stuff. So that was replaced. The injectors are not factory. They are Ford Motorsport injectors. It's kind of a bad angle, but they're Ford Motorsport injectors. They are basically exactly the same as factory, but the advantage is they're full 4-hole instead of 1-hole. So startup's a little easier, idle's a little nicer, runs a little cleaner. Let's see what else we got in here. I think that's probably it on this side. We'll rock around over here. The ignition system is all new. Plug wires are replaced, the spark plugs are replaced. There is a cover for the plugs. I just haven't installed it. I had to get it smogged, so it was easier for the guy to hook up the timing light if he knew where number 1 was. The valve cover was powder coated. The exhaust manifold was ceramic coated. Let's see what else we got here. The power steering, that was gone through. It's kind of not useful to see back here, but all 3 power steering hoses were replaced with brand new ones. Yeah, you literally can't see anything. The belts are new. Some more brand new zinc coated brackets. Everything under here works like new. It's an absolutely phenomenal car to drive. Getting normal 24-25 mileage on it. It passed emissions easily. I'm super stoked about how this whole thing turned out. This car being pretty original and only having passed through a few hands, miraculously still has both the tonneau cover for the top when it's down as well as its carrying case. Trunk's nice and clean. However, I apparently forgot to tuck that back up there, so I will do that right now. That's why. Well, something to work on. Let's see here. I think that's all I kind of really wanted to show is the condition of this thing, which is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to take it for a quick drive and see how that goes. All right, let's do this. lights, which is always what you want to see. There we go. You can see the stereo. It's a pretty decent display. The CarPlay, Android Auto both work. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off because we don't need to hear it. While that oil pressure gauge is there, I've been using it just to be sure the engine is healthy, and it's doing great. Continues to do great. I'm super stoked about it. I don't know if you can hear it on the video. We might be able to hear it as we get underway, but there is not the rain tapping. Let me get a little closer, maybe it's louder. You can sort of hear a little bit of noise. That is a little bit of piston slap. The piston to wall clearance is set a little bit loose on this, partially due to just normal wear and tear and not wanting to go to forged pistons, but also as a byproduct of the APC coating on the pistons. As soon as there's a little heat in the engine, it goes away and it purrs like a kitten. Let's get going. I guess I actually want to pause here real quick and remind everybody this is an automatic, not a manual. But as you can see, it's just everything is just super smooth in this car. It's really phenomenal. All right. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I can hear it because I'm listening for it. My wife can't hear it, but we'll see if you guys can. It's just a little bit of a tapping. When you get under load, it gets a little bit noisier, but like I said, it goes away in a second. Yeah, that's about as loud as it gets. I happen to take the same route to work almost every day, and I've gotten used to when I'll stop hearing it. I don't want to get on it too much right now, just because the engine is stone cold. I'm going to drive a little bit longer, just so we can kind of experience a cold startup. Then I'm going to pause this video and kind of pick up again once there's a little bit of heat in the motor so we can actually drive. Bring this back over so we can kind of watch the gauges a little bit. And we're not going after the bus. Every single shift is absolutely perfect. This transmission works so well. It's honestly, 2025, it's actually kind of rare to be able to find a 900 with an automatic that actually works properly. Most of them have, slipping or delayed shifts or stuff like that. But I think the combination of the fact that it was an older guy who owned this car for so long, and the fact that he just loved it. He just took excellent care of it. When I drained the transmission, the fluid that came out was cherry red. It was absolutely flawless. There's actually some photos of it in the main image gallery. And when we hit these speed bumps, which there are a lot of, actually you can't even hear it right now. When it gets really cold in the cabin, there's a little bit of a squeaking over here from the A-pillar. You can see that the guy that had it before me tried to stuff a little felt in there to make it stop squeaking. That's something that's on my to-do list to tackle, but I just kind of ran out of time on this, so I'm not sure that it's something that I'm going to be able to look into before actually selling the car. I guess while we're just kind of cruising around a little bit also, I'm going to make a couple notes about this. Like I said, the AC is all completely redone, so we have actual real AC that works. You can't tell, obviously, the temperature over the video, but no weird noises. The idle holds perfectly steady. It does everything that it's supposed to do. Everything in here that I have tested works. The horn works, obviously the stereo works, the AC works, all of that works. Seat heaters work because they're new. The only thing that I have never used in this car, and in fact, in 30 years of driving them, I have never used at all, period, is cruise control. This car has it. I don't know if it works. I will never use it. I hope that's not a deal breaker for somebody trying to buy this car, but I'm not going to find out. Also, I don't know if it was obvious in the walk around video, but the fog lights were replaced with new ones, so they work as well. Obviously the wipers work nice and quiet, doing all the things that they should do. Right now it's raining a little bit, we leave them on. The intermittent works exactly like it should. All right, I'm gonna sit here at this interminable light for, oh, I lied, here we go. All right, we have done about 5 minutes in this car, and the engine is now super quiet. As soon as it gets just a little bit of heat, it quiets down. Again, I don't know if you could hear it before, but it's not present now. And we're starting to get a little bit of temperature in here, so I don't feel too bad about giving it the beans. Turbo is super strong. It goes right up to max boost and holds it. It will hold it as long as you are willing to put your foot in it. I mentioned earlier about the 9,000 brakes on this car. One of the things that has kind of always bugged me is that, you know, they put these brakes on in 1988, and they just kept adding equipment to these cars for the next 5 or 6 years of their run. So the car's weight between 1988 and 1994 went up like 200 or 300 pounds. Add on top that this is a convertible, and what I've always found is that the factory brakes, they're adequate, but they're not what I would consider to be confidence inspiring. And that's, you know, I guess it's to be understood that you know, it's an older car and things change, and maybe Saab didn't keep up to date. But the 9,000 brakes just really change everything for it. It's, again, the pistons themselves aren't bigger, the rotors themselves aren't, or sorry, let me rephrase that. The calipers aren't really bigger. They're a little bigger, they're a little bit more rigid. You get a little bit more positive pedal feel. But the big thing is the larger piston. You just get a little bit extra bite for the same amount of foot pressure. And the 9,000 rotors are a little bit heavier, they're a little bit thicker. So you get a little bit more mass, which helps a bit with heat dissipation. It's actually a market improvement. It's such a dumb zero-cost upgrade. The 9,000 parts are almost exactly the same price as the 900 parts, and it's just a little bit more. I've done it with every 900 I've ever had. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pause this video. I'm gonna drive the next mile or so up to the freeway, and we'll pick up from there. All right, we're gonna merge onto this freeway here in just a second. Everything is warmed up to a normal temperature. Feel pretty good about giving it the beans. It's so good. Like, I don't want to get super excited about classic cars with automatic transmissions, but you could do so much worse than this. I'm really blown away by it. You can hear there's a tiny bit of wind noise from the top. It's pretty normal, I think, for these cars. It's been a minute since I've had a 900 convertible, but it's pretty quiet in here on the whole, which makes me pretty happy. Pulls really strong. It's kind of hard to believe, you know, I've driven these cars for most of my life at this point, and it's just hard to believe that a car this old, I mean, it's a 94, but the 900 has been around since 1979, and it is still such a pleasant place to be on the road. Especially with the new leather. The seats are super comfy. Seat heaters are pretty nice this time of year, and you know, has no problem keeping up with modern traffic. got reasonable safety systems. I mean, obviously the body structure is superb, but yeah, I got an airbag. You've got ABS, which works on this car. It's another thing that I dealt with. There was a little electrical issue, and then both of the front ABS sensors were worn out, which was all it took to get it back to running. The Mark II TIV system isn't sophisticated, but it works, which is a pretty good testimony to not only ATE's engineering going back as long as this car has, but also Saab's choice of it, I think. I think a lot of people don't like this ABS system because they don't know how it works and they don't know how to fix it. But it's pretty straightforward, and when you get it dialed in, it tends to just work forever. Trying to think if there's anything else I should mention. I guess I will mention that the power top works. It looks like somebody replaced the original red Shell Rotella mil-spec fluid with maybe CHF or something, because it's can't tell if it's brown or green, but it's definitely not red. So somebody serviced the top, which is awesome. The button is right there in the center console, and the top works up and down, no problem. Actually, when I drove it back out to visit with the owner last month, I did the whole thing top down. It was cold, but seat heaters and the heater on. I don't know if you guys have experienced that, but classic 900, even in the cold weather, is awesome with the top down. Maybe not in the rain, but we had clear skies, just 50-degree temps. Let's see what else in here. All four windows work. Both power mirrors work. The only thing that really lets the interior of this car down is the dash. I wish I had the time and the money to put into that, but it's something that somebody could DIY. But it's also a $2,000 pay-for service, and I think enough had gone into this car at this point. Plus, it's just something to maintain. It's comfortable to drive. It does everything that it's supposed to do, and I think that's not a bad place to be, even if the dash is a bit cracked. I like cars that you can drive and not feel bad about. So I'm going to pull off to the side here. I'm actually going to turn around. And we'll just pull over here and we can pop the hood and take a look around. I don't know if you can hear that purr, but it sounds absolutely great out here. You can tell the engine just idles super smooth. Barely see it's running. There's a little vibration in that line. In the 2,000 miles that I've put on this car, it hasn't leaked anything, it hasn't dripped anything, it hasn't burned anything. Something else I'll mention while we're here. When I got it, it looked like water had been maybe dripping in through this vent or something like that. There was some pretty significant rust along here. There's photos of it, but the rust was removed, treated, and then this corner of the hood was repainted. The guy that did it is a really good professional. You can't tell that it was done. It's pretty seamless. But I did want to call out that there's a minor rust repair here. My guess is that just being 30 years old, probably sitting in a damp climate. I mean, it was from a damp climate, and not being used all the time. I think it just got rusty. But there's no other rust on this car. There's photos of There's photos of the undercarriage and the interior. We can go listen by the exhaust here for a second. So in any case, I don't want to paint this car as a garage queen or some absolutely flawless survivor or anything like that. It's definitely been driven. It's definitely been used. It's got a couple battle scars, but it's an absolute champ on the road. Everything that you could possibly think to do on it has been done. Engine rebuilt, everything bolted to it was replaced. All the stuff that was powder coated and zinc plated. The tires are in good shape. The brakes are new. The interior is redone. Top is absolutely perfectly serviceable. You'll get a while out of this with just a tiny bit of care. By the way, her name is Ursula. I did not name her, but that is definitely her name. She's a great lady, and I will miss having a convertible around, but I got my SPG project back from paint, and that is where my focus has to be right now. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or I don't know how else to get in touch with me. Probably if you found this video, you found a link to it. Let's just leave it at that. Take it easy, all. Bye-bye. Okay, maybe not goodbye yet. Decided to pull a Jonathan Bell and drive around listening to synthwave. I thought of a couple other things that were worth mentioning. One is that when I installed the stereo, I did remove the factory amplifier, and it was old and not happy, and it only ran the rear speakers anyway. So I did go ahead, being unsure whether this head unit would be adequate for driving the speakers with the top down. It's fine, so I did not install an amp, but the car is pre-wired for an amplifier. So there's an RCA cable that runs down the side of the tunnel here, along with a remote turn on the antenna wire. That all goes back behind the rear seat, which you can't obviously see right now, but it goes back there exactly where the factory amp was. If you wanted to install an amp, it would be really straightforward. I made this little plug right here. So all you need to do is disconnect the speakers from the head unit, plug this in, let me focus on that, plug that in where the head unit would have been. So basically it will route the front speakers to the back amp, and then wire up the amp. It'd be really straightforward to do that, because I thought I'd leave that behind. Kind of related, the alarm was old and didn't work. So there's a brand new alarm in there. Both fobs are right here, 2 keys as well, I guess. The alarm is using all of the factory wiring, so it's not some sort of hack job. I did not install any additional wiring. It was literally a plug-and-play solution that works great. And then the final thing, which I think is important, is that if you're familiar with these cars, you know about wear on the inner drivers, basically the transmission output shaft. When I got this car, the effect was sitting with car running in drive, there was a pretty gnarly vibration, and that happens because the transmission is trying to move the car forward, but there's slop in the inner drivers, so you get this kind of rattling effect where the drivers rattle against the CV joints. The easy solution in this case, the only solution in this case, was to swap the drivers left to right. So now the drivers are basically rotating backwards. So the effect here is that car running in drive, the idle is just absolutely silky smooth. If I put it in reverse with the same effect, there is a vibration here. I think you may be able to hear it. I am not sure. It's not pronounced, but it's definitely there. If you are the type of person that sits in reverse with your foot on the brake a lot, this will drive you crazy. I can't imagine who that person is, so you know, hopefully you're a normal person, and drive is going to be your concern, where you just don't have that problem anymore at all. If I think of anything else, I'll tack it on to the end of this video, but hopefully that's it. I'm going to go listen to some more synthwave. Bye.